Big
The
Five.
Big Five.
El viaje
journey
del
of the
dios
god they call the
denominado
rhinoceros.
rinoceronte.
Dawn drapes the savanna in a cloak of light, silvery and delicate, as gentle as the breath of a land that still holds ancient memories. The lion has just stirred from its nightly rest. The leopard lies hidden in the shadows of the dusty grass. The herd of buffalo instinctively tightens its formation. Even the colossal elephants pause for a moment, as if the entire Big Five were waiting for something that is about to emerge. There is no roar, no sudden chase. Just subtle shifts, signs that the savanna is preparing for a remarkable presence. A herd of antelope lifts its head, and the oxpeckers begin to settle on their backs, as if they too are hearing the savanna's call. These are not signals meant for a predator, but for a creature that causes the very earth to hold its breath. The ground begins to tremble ever so slightly, with each heavy, deliberate step, like the drumming of an ancient ritual. The more agile species simply stand still and watch. They do not flee. The savanna senses long before human eyes can see what is approaching. It doesn't hide. It doesn't rush. Instead, it carries the weight of millions of years of existence. As the first rays of the sun slice through the tall grass, a massive gray silhouette emerges from the mist, its skin thick as sandstone, its breath heavy and relentless, its horn curved as if carved by time itself. The rhinoceros moves forward unhurried and unthreatening, but with every movement, the very ground seems to change its rhythm beneath her feet. In the group known as the Big Fives, each species holds its own distinct form of power. The lion commands through majesty, the leopard through stealth, the Cape buffalo with its tenacity, and the elephant with its wisdom. But the rhinoceros is the power of pure presence. Without hunting or showing off, it brings the savanna to a hush, simply by walking the earth that belongs to it. But amid the sea of golden grass in the dry season, the imposing presence of the rhino also hides pockets of vulnerability. Next to the immense gray body of the mother, there is a much smaller calf that walks with curiosity, following every heavy footstep. For the savanna, a calf is always an invitation to instinct. And on the far horizon, a pride of lions has already detected this weakness. It's the one glimmer of opportunity in one of the most difficult times of the year. The pride of lions closes into a semicircle all at once. Golden shadows gliding through the sea of grass, like an unstoppable wave of pressure. The mother, Rhino, charges across the open space, dust erupting under the force of her protective instinct. In that moment, stretched to its breaking point, the hunting party falters, and the savannah seems to ignite as the standoff reaches its climax. With a turn as heavy as thunder, and a fierce strike that rips through the cloud of dust, the mother. A rhino forces the lion pride to fall back, one step at a time. The calf leans against its mother's legs, safe beside the ancient gray armor. The savannah slowly begins to settle. All that remains is the image of the unwavering rhino, a testament to the forces that exist, which have no need to roar, for the entire land to bow in respect. The rhinoceros has a rugged appearance, but on the inside, it is a creature of unparalleled calm. It does not attack unprovoked, nor does it seek out confrontation. Its stillness is so profound, the savannah at times seems to be watching a living boulder. But only the species who truly understand the savannah know that this serenity is a mask hiding an immense power. A rhino's sense of smell and hearing is so sharp it can interpret the world's movements through invisible signals. Even with its poor eyesight, it detects the scent of the wind changing direction, the distant sound of footsteps, or the smell of the earth, carried by another species. It is precisely this sensitivity, forged by nature, that allows the rhino to survive in a land full of danger. What makes the rhinoceros so admirable is not just its size. Its skin is a thick coat of armor, but its temperament is far more peaceful than that of many other species. It generally avoids confrontations and reacts only when it must protect its territory or its young. A rhino's impact doesn't come from ferocity, but from the quiet responsibility this creature carries, living in harmony with the natural order of life. The rhinoceros earned its place among the Big Five, not because of its aggression, but for its untamable spirit, weighing nearly 2 tons and possessing a strength capable of making the entire savannah tremble. The rhinoceros was a creature before which even the most experienced hunters of the past would hesitate. Its strength, its armor, and its will to survive make it a symbol of ancient power. On the same level as the lion, the elephant, and the buffalo. Although a tranquil animal, the rhino is not a species that allows others to cross its boundaries. On the savanna territory is marked by scent, by tracks in the mud, and by the paths it has forged over many years. And on some scorching afternoons, when the heat from the earth rises as light as smoke, an intruder sometimes ends up invading that domain. The dominant rhinoceros detects the intrusion, not with its eyes, but through subtle signals. The sound of breathing, heavy in the distance. The heavy rhythm of footsteps breaking the pattern. The body scent of an adult individual. It lifts its head, and its ears vibrate slightly with the wind. It is not an elephant nor a lion. It is an adversary of a comparable weight to its own. No. From the dusty horizon, a second, gray silhouette emerges. Unhurried and making no attempt to hide its presence. It advances directly along the path that its rival had marked many rainy seasons ago. The savanna holds its breath for a moment. Two creatures that weigh tons. They move slowly like living boulders, bringing with them the feeling of an impending clash. A confrontation that the sky and the earth have witnessed since ancient times. The two gray figures surge forward in unison, charging across the sun-scorched savanna. They are like two blocks of living stone, unleashed from time itself. The first impacts are slow and deep, creating a heavy sound that ripples through the very ground. Neither one gives ground. There is no turning aside, only the solidity of two forces that know the value of the territory they defend. With every clash of horns, red dust billows into the air, forming a halo that hangs in the evening light. It envelops them both, like the haze of some ancient ritual. This isn't a show of ferocity. It's about pure, concentrated primal strength. With each charge as heavy as the earth itself, the savanna itself seems to hold its breath, waiting to see which one will stand its ground, the longest in this test of wills. Then, through the red dust still hanging in the air, one of the gray silhouettes falters. Its breathing is heavy, but its gaze remains calm. The opponent slowly takes a half step back, as if acknowledging that the territory has been secured. There is no winner and no loser here. Only a primal respect that allows the savanna to breathe once more. The two magnificent rhinoceroses separate, like two ancient stones, returning to their own domains. The rhinoceros grazes on stands of tall and dense grass, clearing pathways for smaller antelope and for ground-dwelling birds. As it clears away the vegetation, the landscape opens up, becoming more varied. This subtle transformation occurs with every bite it takes. providing dozens of other species the space they need to survive in the demanding savanna. The mud wallows a rhino digs during the hot season soon become a sanctuary for the entire savanna. Elephants arrive to cool themselves down. Buffalo wallow in the mud to fend off insects. Even the hyenas appear hoping to steal a meal. One simple gesture from the rhino ultimately creates a central point of encounter for the diverse species of the ecosystem. Upon the rhino's coarse gray hide, a flock of oxpeckers finds nourishment and sounds the alarm for danger. This cooperative relationship is a testament to the savanna's complex web. The rhino does not exist in a vacuum. Its very presence is a cornerstone in the overall balance, influencing everything from the flow of water to the distribution of plant life and the behavior of other animals. When the sun dips below the acacias, the rhino remains in the deep golden light of the savanna, like a piece of living memory left over from prehistoric times. The fading daylight traces the contours of its cracked, rough skin, highlighting the endurance that has defined it for millions of years. In that instant, the entire land seems to move in rhythm, guided by the calm of this ancient creature. On the vast open expanse, the rhino doesn't need to roar to declare its presence. Its power comes from the quiet one. It confronts every challenge without hesitation. This is a creature that doesn't compete with speed, nor does it boast of its strength. And yet, it commands the savanna's respect just by its resilient existence. As the twilight fades, the rhino becomes a symbol of the most ancient presence on the savanna. Resilient, silent, and unbreakable, while so many species change over time, it remains true to the essence the earth gave it. And it's precisely this steadfastness that secures the rhino's place forever among the Big Five, the pillars of power in wild Africa. The day is just beginning to heat up when the herd of Cape buffalo appears at the edge of the grassland. They are not only a major source of food, but also one of the most formidable adversaries for the pride. The Cape buffalo has a heavy, dense body, looking as if it were forged from black steel. Its horns curve sharply forward and then open out to the sides, forming a natural shield that protects its head. The muscles in its shoulders and chest are so massive that every step makes the ground tremble slightly. And what makes them one of the most difficult prey is that they are never alone. The entire herd sticks together, always ready to turn and rescue a member in danger. The lionesses know this all too well. They don't rush in. Some position themselves out in front, waiting for the moment the herd gets careless, enough to become separated. And then the decisive moment arrives. An old buffalo begins to lose speed. He has fallen just a few paces behind. But for these veteran lionesses, that is more than enough of an opening. Roars, horns and growls merge into absolute chaos. Clouds of dust billow up from the ground. Finally, the buffalo goes down and becomes a feast for the lion pride. As the sun climbed higher, the pride of lions had earned itself a meal, truly worthy of the effort. But this was no easy victory, and it served as a stark reminder that every hunt for Cape buffalo is a gamble for life, or death on the savannah. A world away from the rugged, arid landscapes of Samburu in northern Kenya, there lies a national park at the foot of Africa's highest peak. This is Amboseli, the land of giants. The diverse habitats of Amboseli range from wide-open savannas and lush wetlands to acacia woodlands and seasonal marshes, fed by underground rivers. From the glaciers of Mount Kilimanjaro, they provide a crucial lifeline for the wildlife. At its heart, fed by the meltwater from Mount Kilimanjaro lie the life-giving swamps, A sanctuary for the park's most iconic residents, the elephants. The swamps offer a haven. Providing both water and lush vegetation. Elephants live in tightly knit family groups, led by a matriarch, the oldest and wisest female. Her knowledge of the landscape and its water sources is critical to the herd's survival. Within the herd, the social bonds are powerful and deeply rooted. They are forged over years of shared experiences and unwavering mutual care. For the elephants of Amboseli, daily life is centered on the constant search for food and water. The marshlands offer more than just hydration. They also provide a rich abundance of vegetation. The elephants handle their trunks with remarkable skill, whether they're feeding, bathing, or playing. These moments of close interaction reinforce the connections between family members, especially among the youngest calves. Elephants are highly intelligent and social creatures, with a sophisticated system of communication. They employ a wide range of vocalizations, from deep, low-frequency rumbles that can travel for miles to sharp trumpets of excitement or alarm. Body language and physical touch also play vital roles in how they interact with one another. The matriarch's leadership is absolutely essential. Her lifetime of experience guides the family through the challenges of their environment. During the dry season, her memory of distant water sources can truly be the difference between life and death. The young elephants learn everything from her, soaking up the knowledge they will need to one day lead their own families. But daily life in Amboseli is not without its difficulties. Predators, drought, and human-wildlife conflict present constant threats to these animals. They often have to venture beyond the park's boundaries. Because of this, conservation efforts are critically important to protect these magnificent creatures and to ensure they can continue to flourish in their natural home. The wetlands here also attract vast flocks of birds, particularly wading birds. Over 400 species of birds call this diverse ecosystem home, each contributing to the park's rich avian tapestry. African fish eagles soar majestically overhead, their distinctive piercing calls echoing across the park. However, the fish eagle's true domain lies to the north. At Lake Naivasha, nestled in Kenya's Great Rift Valley. Here, a freshwater jewel stretches for over 139 square kilometers. Surrounded by fringes of papyrus and acacia woodlands, it is a sanctuary for a multitude of species. Its tranquil waters and lush surroundings create a haven for an incredible diversity of wildlife. Among its most iconic residents is the African fish eagle, sovereign of this aquatic realm. With a wingspan of over 2 meters and striking white chestnut and black plumage, it is a majestic sight. Its distinctive call, a haunting cry, echoes across the lake, announcing its presence. The African fish eagle is a master hunter. Its keen eyesight allows it to spot fish from great heights. With a swift and powerful dive, it snatches its prey with razor-sharp talons, lifting it. As dawn breaks over the Masai Mara, a shadow slips silently through the grass. This is the leopard, the elusive and enigmatic master of stealth. The Masai Mara, with its vast savannas, dense thickets and tall acacia trees, provides the perfect habitat for the leopard. These solitary hunters are masters of adaptation, thriving in the Mara's varied landscapes. Here they can remain, hidden from prey and predators alike. With their sleek, muscular bodies and signature coats of spots, leopards are engineered for power and elegance. Every muscle is tuned for silent movement, allowing them to close in on their prey, completely undetected. A leopard's diet is as varied as its habitat. These opportunistic hunters will take down anything from small birds and rodents to antelope, several times their own size. Their powerful jaws and sharp canine teeth make quick work of their catch. To avoid scavengers, leopards often drag their kills high up into the trees. An incredible feat of strength, ensuring their meal remains untouched. Not all opportunities are found on the ground. Some are waiting high above, where the branches open up to the light and silence stretches between the leaves. A marula tree offers the perfect vantage point. From up here, movement becomes information. Sound becomes distance. Down below, a wildebeest wanders near the base of the tree. There is no chase, no sound, just gravity used with deadly intention. Because for the leopard, height isn't just a safe haven, it's an extension of its precision. Some threats arrive as a pack, swift, coordinated, and not open to negotiation. African wild dogs don't rely on a silent ambush. They overwhelm with coordination for the leopard. A direct confrontation is rare. It assesses, it calculates. But as their numbers grow, so does the risk. And there are times when retreat comes too late. Faced with a pack, even the most elusive predator can be made to bleed. This gazelle is a mother, moving with her 2 young fawns. Unlike lions, cheetahs have no allies, no pack. The entire responsibility of hunting, protecting, and teaching her cubs falls on her slender shoulders. She guides her cubs through areas of low grass, far from any trace of lions or hyenas. For a cheetah, a single encounter at the wrong moment is enough to lose her cubs, or even worse, her life. A cheetah doesn't rely on strength to bring down its prey. It relies on explosive acceleration, capable of reaching 55 miles per hour in just a few seconds. But that speed must be used with precision, because if she runs for too long, she will collapse from exhaustion. The mother lowers her body, pressing herself almost flat against the ground. Her dark eyes, framed by the distinctive teardrop-shaped markings, scan the sparse grassland for a target. A small antelope wanders carelessly in the distance. The moment the prey turns its head, she bursts forward without a sound, just a yellow blur streaking across the plains. The hunt is over as quickly as it began. Although she is a predator, the cheetah is one of the species most likely to have its kill stolen. She is left drained after every chase and must rest for a few minutes to catch her breath a moment of peril when any larger predator could appear and claim her meal. Today, the mother is lucky there are no roars of lions or the cackles of hyenas. Quickly, she hauls the prey to the base of a sparse bush, giving her two cubs a rather unusual meal. Out on the sun-scorched yellow grass, the gazelle carries on with its solitary but resilient life. On the run, raising her young and constantly struggling against the unforgiving nature of the savanna. They move forward not just with physical brawn, but also with a precise pack strategy. It's the combination of speed, persistence, and collective intelligence that makes the hyena such a formidable opponent. The outcome hangs in the balance. Will they gain the upper hand, or will they disappear into the dust sweeping across the plain? The rhinoceros is one of Africa's great symbols of strength. Weighing as much as 2,300 kilograms, and with a hide nearly 5 centimeters thick, every thrust of its horn is powerful enough to keep any predator at bay. By comparison, a hyena weighs only between 45 and 70 kilograms, but it has the advantage of numbers and an extraordinary persistence. This is a showdown between sheer power and relentless strategy. At first, the clan ventures toward a fully grown adult, but each powerful charge forces them to immediately fall back, proving that succeeding against a healthy rhino is nearly impossible. Undeterred, they turn their attention to a calf that weighs between 270 and 360 kilograms. Even with its mother close by, the daylight works in the rhino's favor, making it hard for this pack to gain control. The chase continues until sunset. As night begins to fall, the rhino's vision starts to fail, but hyenas thrive under the cover of darkness. The clan tightens its formation, gradually isolating, the young one exhausted after long hours. As night completely takes over the plain, their persistence finally earns its reward. This outcome reveals a familiar paradox of the natural world. Even the giants, worn down by time and group strategy, can, on occasion, yield to the strength of the collective. In the wild, the lion is known as the king of beasts, and for hyenas, they are the ultimate rival. Every encounter requires careful calculation, because the slightest error can be costly. Against a full-grown male lion, weighing over 180 kilograms, hyenas tend to keep their distance, watching from afar and waiting for an opening. However, when facing a single lioness, the balance of power can shift. With overwhelming numbers on their side, the hyenas grow much bolder, pushing forward with resolve and intimidation, forcing the lioness to defend her meal. Sometimes they're tight. Coordination allows them to change the outcome, forcing the lioness to retreat and claiming the prize for themselves. These conflicts are not only about food, but also about territory. Both lions and hyenas mark their hunting grounds, and any intrusion can unleash a fierce showdown. Still, when faced with the strength of lions, particularly adult males, against whom no number of hyenas can truly stand their ground, their chances of victory remain slim. Although the outcome often favors the lions, the persistence of hyenas ensures that even these great hunters must always stay on guard, because in the wild, no power is absolute. Under the midday sun, leopards will often drag their kill high into the sturdy branches of a tree to keep it secure. As the savanna returns to its natural rhythm, the dust settles, and the zebra herd continues its endless journey. Where one life is given to sustain another form of life. In this land, every chase is not just a loss, but a vital link that keeps the cycle of nature turning. enduring through every generation. Even after losing one of their own, the herd quickly closes the empty space and falls back into its familiar pace. No mourning, no long pauses. They press onward as if driven by the savanna itself. In this world of constant challenges, a zebra's greatest strength is its ability to get back up immediately, after every setback. Zebras don't have the explosive speed of gazelles or the massive weight of Cape buffalo, but they have something even more powerful: resilience. Even when they are being hunted or must cross dry, cracked earth, the herd maintains a steady pace, as if every step follows a predetermined path. It is this perseverance that allows them to survive the harshest seasons. On the days when the heat seems to set the plains on fire and everything shimmers in the scorching air, the zebras continue their steady advance. The sweat and dust cling to their black and white stripes, but nothing makes them slow their pace. The energy of the herd comes from the determination of a simple belief that the only way is forward. There is always a new chance for survival. Even when crossing the most demanding terrain, where rock and mud become one, creating unpredictable obstacles, the herd of zebras does not hesitate. They choose to push forward, rather than go around, navigating the narrow passages of the land in near-perfect order. This unity transforms every hardship into a surmountable challenge. Every long journey leaves its mark, trails carved through the sea of grass and stretches of well-trodden ground that become pathways for the species that follow. But the zebras never look back. They press on with a rare determination, always toward a new way of life that awaits them. And as dusk begins to fall, and the fading daylight bathes the herd in a warm golden glow, they continue to press onward. No storm and no predator can break the rhythm of their journey. This species' strength doesn't lie in its speed or its power, but in the courage to simply keep going, no matter what challenges the savanna presents. As the morning light floods across the sea of grass, the savanna begins another chapter in its endless story. The zebra herd holds its ground on a gentle slope, their breath still misting in the cool night air. A new day dawns, and with it come crucial decisions. They can sense a shift in the wind, a signal heralding the long trials that lie ahead. The Great Migration is about to begin, drawing hundreds of thousands of hooves from many species across the vast plain. For the zebras, this is more than just a journey. It's a trial of endurance, of their memory of the water trails, and their ability to read the signs of the earth and the sky. They are preparing for a long trek, where every kilometer holds both peril and promise. The migration leads the herd of zebras to the river's edge, where the murky water conceals shadows moving just below. Crocodiles lie as motionless as rocks, awaiting the perfect moment, creating a tension that makes the herd hesitate. But when the pressure from behind pushes them, the zebras plunge into the current, beginning the toughest challenge of the trip. In the churning waters, hidden shadows rise to the surface. But the zebras maintain a steady swimming pace. They do not scatter. They press on toward the other side, with the determination of a species accustomed to facing life and death. As the last stripes break through the current, the savanna seems to light up. In the face of such resilience, extraordinary. As the new bank appears, under the slanted light of the sun, the herd of zebras moves on, breathing hard, but with a steady gait. Before them stretches fields of greener, softer grass, like a reward after the intense journey. The savanna on this side carries the scent of damp earth and of life, reborn like a greeting to those who persevered. In the new territory, the zebra herd quickly disperses, grazing on patches of grass, still damp with dew. Short whinnies echo as a confirmation that the greatest challenge is now behind them. This is more than just a place of rest. It is the starting point of a new cycle, where they continue to write their story with courage and unity. As the afternoon light descends upon this new land, a golden glow gently spreads over moving stripes on the green field. The zebras form small groups, their breathing finding its rhythm once more. After the long journey, this tranquility is not simply a reward. It is proof of the enduring strength of a species that faced the ultimate test. Each individual quickly reveals its unique stripes, like an affirmation of its identity, unmistakable within the herd. Without a fuss, without hesitation, the herd restores its natural order. In the heart of a savanna defined by change, they endure because of their determination and the ability to keep moving forward, even in the face of loss.